Hello, everyone. My name is Shar-Day Ali. Today, I'll be presenting on the interaction of self-care, faith, and ethical practice in social work. In this presentation, I'll walk through my self-care assessment results, how my spirituality connects to my values, and how I plan to maintain ethical responsibility while working with diverse populations. I'll also reflect on areas where my personal beliefs may not fully align with professional expectations and how I plan to manage that in a healthy and ethical way. Self-care assessment results. Based on my self care assessment, one of my strengths is physical self care. I stay consistent with aquatic workouts nowadays, about 3 to 4 days out of the week, prioritizing getting enough sleep and focusing on maintaining good nutrition through increasing my protein and fiber. However, I also recognize areas where I need to grow, especially in spiritual and emotional self care. While I do pray and reflect, I want to be more consistent and intentional with it. This assessment helped me realize that self care isn't just physical, it's holistic. According to Reamer 2018, social workers need to maintain overall wellness to stay effective and avoid burnout. So, this gave me a clearer picture of where I am and what I need to improve. Faith and social work values. My faith plays a big role in how I view helping others. It naturally pushes me toward compassion, empathy, and service. These values align closely with the NASW code ethics, especially the idea of respecting the dignity and worth of every person. At the same time, I've learned that while my faith guides how I feel, my professional ethics guide how I act. I can't impose my beliefs onto clients. Instead, I have to meet them where they are and support them without judgment. This balance is something I'm continuing to grow in. Areas of incongruence. There are definitely times where my personal beliefs may not align with a client's choices or lifestyle. In those moments, it can create internal conflict, but according to the NASW Code of Ethics, I still have a responsibility to provide respectful and unbiased care. Reamer 2018 talks about how ethical practice requires self awareness and reflection, especially when personal values are involved. So instead of reacting, I have to pause, check myself, and focus on the client's needs, not my personal opinions. Upholding the NASW Code of Ethics. To stay grounded, I always come back to the NASW Code of Ethics. This includes respecting client self determination, meaning clients have the right to make their own decisions. It also includes cultural competence, understanding that every client comes from a different background, and maintaining clear professional boundaries. Reamer 2018 emphasizes using ethical decision making when situations are unclear. So I know I'll need to rely on both the code and supervision to guide my actions. Self awareness and balance. Self awareness is something I'm actively working on. I realize that I have to pay attention to my emotional reactions and biases because if I ignore them, they can affect how I treat clients. Supervision is really helpful here because it gives me another perspective and helps me catch things I might miss. I also use reflection like journaling or just checking in with myself mentally. This helps me stay grounded and focused on the client, not my own feelings. Role of self care. Self care is essential in this field because burnout and compassion fatigue are real. For me, aquatic workouts, sleep, and nutrition help me stay physically and mentally balanced. I also want to grow more in my spiritual self care, especially through prayer and meditation. The NASW Code of Ethics highlights that we have responsibility to maintain our well-being so we can provide effective services, according to NASW 2021. So self-care isn't optional. It's a part of being a good social worker. Integration of faith and practice. When it comes to integrating faith and practice, I've learned that it's about balance. My faith helps guide how I treat people with compassion and patience, but I still have to respect each client's beliefs and choices. King and Kunstinger 2023 talk about how faith can shape social work perspectives, but it must be balanced with professional ethics. So I see my faith as something that strengthens how I serve, not something I place onto others. Conclusion. Overall, this assignment helped me reflect on how my personal values, faith, and self-care all connect to my roles as a future social worker. I've learned that self-awareness is key and that ethical practice requires ongoing reflection and growth. I'm committed to following the NASW Code of Ethics, continuing strength my self care and making sure I show up for clients in a respectful, non judgmental way. I appreciate your time and attention, and I'm open to any questions you may have. Thank you so much. This is a great course, by the way. Thank you, Ms. Cuba Rodriguez.